Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, we're in Canelo versus Berlanga fight week, right? Or Danny Garcia versus Arislande Lara fight week, depending on what you excited about. But what does that do? That gives me a reason to talk about other people that should be talked about, right? Over the couple of years, I've done a couple of videos talking about We Feel Witcha, you know, and that's just, about people that's kind of forgotten, that shouldn't be, that did things and, they weren't treated right. And I remember I did We Feel Witcha De Corrales. De Corrales is a fighter from Italy who was kind of done wrong when he was fighting a guy like Vincent Feigenbutz from Germany and another guy in the super middleweight division. They were trying to, they robbed the man a couple of times. De Corrales. Another We Feel Witcha video was about Monica Seles. Now, Monica Seles, for a lot of young people, that was a tennis player in the 90s, right? Woman tennis player coming from Serbia at the time. And she was very important to tennis because at the time you had like the Mike Tyson of tennis, who was Steffi Graf. Steffi Graf was getting rid of people, 6'1", 6'0", 6'1", 6'2", everybody getting beat under an hour. And even though there was good players at the time, some Yana Novotnas, some Rancha Sanchez Vicarios, and some Gabriela Sabatinis of the world. We had two sisters even playing at the time, Zena Garrison and Lori McNeil. That was, tennis was good. It was just Steffi was better than everybody else. Until Monica Seles came along. And Monica Seles came along and she was hitting that ball real flat from both sides, had a double forehand, double backhand, and she was hitting it real flat, and she didn't care who was on the other side of the net. Now, Monica Seles wasn't even that athletic. She wasn't fast or anything, but when she gets to the ball, it's coming straight. And she didn't care who was on the other side. She started beating Steffi Graf. So much so that she became #1 in the world. Now, people who were used to Steffi winning, especially the Germans, were upset. So a guy named Gunther Posch just stabbed Monica Seles at a tournament in Hamburg, Germany, and stabbed her on the court. And that messed up Monica Seles' reign, which it would have been ridiculous because she, I think, it had 9 Grand Slams at the time. And she was #1 by so far that she didn't have to play for 6 months or longer to remain #1. Now, why would we feel with you, Monica Seles? Once, because you're stabbed on the court in Germany, and nothing really happens to the, the Steffi Graf remained to be #1. 2, because 9 of the 10 top 10 at the time didn't think her stuff should have been frozen. So when you look at all of that, you're looking at it and you're saying, what the hell is going on? Why didn't they freeze her points and give her a lot of time to get her stuff together, right? And she would be #1 until whenever, right? Because that was a ridiculous thing to happen. That's not something that just happens every day, right? So long story short, she never was the same again. So we feel with you, Monica Seles. I think I did another one called We Feel With You, Austin Trout. Because Austin Trout, he was fighting Canelo Alvarez in San Antonio, Texas. And with Austin Trout, he was undefeated at the time. And he fought Canelo Alvarez in San Antonio. And they had something you call open scoring. Now, open scoring is after every 4 rounds, the 4th round and the 8th round, you tell the fighters and their corners what the score is and who's winning. Now, Austin Trout and Canelo Alvarez fought the first 4 rounds, and you watch them yourself and see what you would have scored. But after those first 4 rounds, Austin Trout was told you didn't win any. All right? So he had to just start having a total different fighting style and stand in the pocket and, and try to beat Canelo with Canelo's flat-footed style. That's not what Austin Trout's style is. But he was forced to do so because he was down by 4 rounds, feeling like you have to climb uphill. That's just not fair. So we feel with your Austin Trout because his career has, took a different trajectory. So that brings me to who we feel with right now. I'm just looking for an excuse to talk about him. We feel with you, Demetrius Andrade. Where's Demetrius Andrade right now? Had to move up and weight, try to fight Benavidez, got his first loss, right? Was undefeated, you know, champion at 154, champion at 160, had the belt to fight Canelo for undisputed. Canelo didn't have to do it. Canelo could call him a horrible fighter. He never got to fight with Canelo. He never got to fight with Jamal Charlo. Was trying to do so, stay on the same side as the street as Canelo, so that excuse wasn't there, right? Couldn't even get Jamal Charlo fight either, right? And we know he was trying to, so that's somebody we could say, hey, who did he fight? What is his resume? You know, the things that happen to, you know, we always say to a brother, who you fight, why you don't deserve to fight, and then fight somebody less deserving. Canelo could have fought him for undisputed and the biggest payday of his career at a middleweight division. Didn't have to do it. No one said anything about it. Canelo was his mandatory at 154 pounds, right? Canelo just doesn't have to do it. Doesn't have to fight him, and they strip him and then put Liam Smith right in his spot. And what happens? Then Canelo fights Liam Smith. Doesn't that sound familiar to what's going on right now? Tell David Morrell, get the hell out of here because he's not fighting you. Go up a weight. Replace him with Berlanga. And who do we have this weekend? Canelo versus that easier guy, Berlanga. And everybody trying to act like we supposed to be. I ain't even give a damn. I'm just sorry because I don't like how it happens. And I don't like how the boxing industry is just talking. People just, all these people on the internet, all these programs and stuff. If you're not mentioning David Morrell, I'm tuning out. If you're not mentioning why we have Berlanga, I'm tuning out. Because this is not, when if I hear you saying Canelo's just didn't fight Benavidez, I'm tuning out. Because it's not just Benavidez. It's David Morrell. It's Demetrius Andrade. It's a Bivol rematch. It's a whole lot of stuff. Right? I'm not going to have I have a DAZN contract for 10 fights for $365 million. And he tries to fight. He says, you know, once they say, well, okay, well, here's Demetrius Andrade. You've had 2 easy fights, the Yildirim and the Roy Fieldings of the world. Now you got to fight Demetrius Andrade so we can recoup some of our money. And then he wants to get out of the contract. He's complaining about David Benavidez, who's in the same weight division. He's too big. But, hey, you know something? I want to fight Mukabu at cruiserweight. No, not Marius Brides, not Apatia, not Dorticus, Mukabu. And the zone's like, man, we can't do that. But if Benavidez is so big, why do you want to fight a cruiserweight? Right? And, you know, you fought Sergey Kovalev up there. You fought Bivol up there. You know, but you can't fight him in your same weight because he might rehydrate. Right? But although you rehydrated more than, don't let me start naming fighters that he rehydrated more than. So all this stuff, he's made every excuse in the book in broad daylight. So, and Demetrius Andrade is out here in obscurity, probably about to retire because of 168 looked a little bit small against David Benavidez. All right, David Benavidez beat him, right? So we don't know what he's going to do. But his trajectory got all messed up. Worrying about Canelo. Now, if Canelo would have got stripped of the belts, he could have fought somebody else for undisputed. We would have him being undisputed. So my point right now is I don't give a damn. No one else is going to talk about my man, Demetrius Andrade right now. Nobody. They're going to just forget him. But we're not here. We feel with you, Demetrius Andrade. We still think you're one of the best fighters we've seen in the last decade. But because of the same guy that's in the way all the time, you're not going to get an opportunity to prove it. Neither is David Morrell and David Benavidez, who they sent up to another weight division, and now they're telling them that they look pedestrian because they're fighting bigger guys. Right? Now they look pedestrian. They wouldn't have if you would let them fight for the damn titles at 168. So join the club. We feel with you, Demetrius Andrade. Done with Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.